First, it was a kind of discovering the instrument and getting to know the instrument, or just getting the right tones that I wanted that suited that particular piece that I was playing. And that's what I did. And I ended up recording 8 to 10 pieces, of which 8 are now on the double album.
So, Ajay, we're just walking up to the church door now. Just take me back to when you first came here and you discovered this beautiful setting. I mean, it is stunning. I know it's a lovely day today, but we've got horses grazing in the field. There's a little castle there.
We walked around and saw the amazing architecture of the place. And then tucked away around the corner, I saw an organ, and I was like spellbound. I thought, I've got to check it out.
Should we go and have a look?
Let's do it,
show me
yeah.
where it is.
Magnificent church. The reverb in here is intense. If you just clap your hand. And then I looked at this beautiful organ, and there's a lid on it, and the first thing you do is like, well, let's see what's inside. And you open it up. So you sit down, and the first thing you do is you start pumping away. You start pulling out all the knobs to see if you can get any sounds. And eventually something comes out, and you listen to it, and you hear the deep resonance within, and then from there on, the magic begins. And you start playing. It's beautiful. It's very, very special.
You're talking about it as if it's a really simple thing to do, but it looks exhausting, pumping those pedals. And the other thing about it actually is how dusty it is. I mean, talk to me about that. There's a lot of old dust in here, isn't there?
There's centuries old dust in here. And basically, I remember the first time I played it, my lungs were just filled with dust for a week. And every time I spoke, I was kind of croaking, and everyone was like, what is wrong with you? I basically just swallowed centuries old dust that has been accumulating in this organ in St. Mary's Church. Very nice, yeah. The inscription on here says Fort Wayne Organ Company, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. And unbelievably, I discovered that one person had made a special website dedicated to this particular company. And I just read somewhere, sometimes if you look on the back of the instrument, they're in there. First thing I did the next morning, I drove out here, brought a torch, pulled the whole organ out, looked in the back, and went through every single centimetre on the back of the organ, and I discovered the serial numbers. And based on those numbers, I could date that it was built between 1895 and 1897.
Wow. And have you managed to find out how this organ that was made in the USA has found its way to North Yorkshire?
No, I have absolutely no idea, and I don't think that is a story that I will ever be able to track down, and I'd ever be able to trace the journey of that organ to here.
So tell me about what you did do and how you recorded the album.
Over the course of 2 full days, I brought my packed lunch, turned my telephone off, and not a soul came to this church in those 2 days. I basically just sat here, and all I did was just play and play and play and play and play for hours on end. And first it was a kind of discovering the instrument and getting to know the instrument, or just getting the right tones that I wanted that suited that particular piece that I was playing. And that's what I did. And I ended up recording 8 to 10 pieces, of which 8 are now on the double album.
Is there something about this one, just with the backstory to it, that is particularly special?
Absolutely. I mean, everything that led to this album being made makes it extra special. The feedback I've had from people has reflected that.